Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the midweek report. It's Brian or Fuzz, if you know me in the Discord. So far this week, it's been a pretty interesting one. Most notably today, where we had some interesting data, especially coming from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, who revised the job growth to be much lower than the originally reported numbers there. We've also got our FOMC meeting minutes from the July meeting. We still have a few weeks or so until the September meeting, but they did show that there is definitely a likely chance of a rate cut coming for that September meeting. Now the question remains, is it going to be 25 basis points or is it going to be 50? But the markets are pricing in at least 75 towards the end of the year in total. So we are definitely anticipating that. There was a little bit of a muted response off those meeting minutes today. It wasn't too much of a move, so that kind of suggests to me that the move or the rate cut itself is definitely priced in. So we still got a few things on the docket before we even get to that rate cut. But tomorrow we do have our weekly jobless claims reports. And then Friday we have our highly anticipated speech from Jerome Powell himself from Jackson Hole. So there's going to be a lot of eyes and ears on that for the later part of this week. Now, the S&Ps here, looking at the chart, this is the S&P futures. We can see, it's been a really strong market here. The RSI remains positive. The S&Ps have closed above its 50 daily simple moving average, and the MACD continues to look to be pretty bullish here. We had that crossover last Wednesday, and that's when we also crossed over the daily 50 on that Thursday. And since then, it's just been a little bit of a small grind. You can see where the candles lately have been rather tiny. The volatility has kind of dried up, so to speak. But, we are only just, a little under like 1.3% off of the lifetime highs here on the S&Ps, which is pretty amazing considering the downfall it had off that yen carryover trade news and recession fears that we had a few weeks ago. So that is looking pretty good here. One key thing that has been driving the market higher, though, is not only the data that we've had about to help secure that rate cut in September, has definitely been retail sales. We've seen pretty good reports out of Walmart. Walmart continues to lead this area in the market. We also got a good earnings report from Target, which also kind of solidified that sector, so to speak. And one key area that I am watching is definitely the semiconductors and NVIDIA. NVIDIA reports its earnings next Wednesday, so we definitely want. There's going to be tons of eyes and ears on this one as well. But this still looks pretty positive here. Daily RSI looks good. We're above the daily 50, and everything seems to look pretty good here for a possible run up into earnings. Looking at the semiconductor ETF itself, we can see it's a little bit of a different picture here. The semiconductors have yet to get above its daily 50 simple moving average, even though the RSI is still in positive territory above that 50 zone, and the MACD is looking pretty has had its bullish crossover since then. So we're still kind of waiting for the entire sector to kind of pick up the pace in general. But like I said, the S&Ps continue to look pretty good here. The Nasdaq also has recaptured its daily 50 simple moving average with that positive RSI and bullish MACD cross. It's also recaptured its 618% retracement here. So everything's looking pretty good to set the stage for higher in general. So the strongest sector in general is definitely the consumer discretionary sector, with Toll Brothers having a pretty strong earnings reports and sales in general, and it gapped up on pretty heavy volume today. So definitely going to keep this one, on watch in case things get some moving higher. One thing I am definitely keeping an eye on is also Dick's. This has probably been one of my favorite names to have shares in, and it continues to be pretty impressive here. You've actually got a nice close into all-time highs here. We do have earnings coming up in a few weeks or so, so I'm definitely keeping an eye on that. So I might add into my position here, or I may just wait until after the earnings. I haven't really made, a decision there. Now, going back to the semiconductors, like I said, the semiconductors continue to remain relatively weak compared to the rest of the market. Most notably, TSM, it's exhibiting a little bit more weakness compared to a lot of the other semiconductors. But, just keep in mind that, next week's earnings from NVIDIA can most definitely change that outlook. Another sector that has been performing very well lately is healthcare. We've taken a swing trade in AbbVie, and AbbVie continues to be very bullish within this sector. Lilly is another name that's trying to break out into all-time highs, and this continues to be in a confirmed uptrend. We just got to get a break above this 965 level, and it should be pretty clear, pretty clear skies from there. One of the strongest names within the Mag 7 is definitely Meta. I'm keeping an eye on Meta, see if it can break through this 543 zone on good volume. But I think Meta is a nice little buy here prior to breaking out into all-time highs. That's definitely on my list and could make for a very nice swing trade as we gear things up. Now, the IWM is also firming up. It has recaptured the daily 50. We've had a bullish crossover finally on the MACD, and joining the positive RSI here, we do have a swing trade on the IWM. It's currently in the middle of a gap here. It's got a little bit left to fill, all the way up to about the 216.58 zone, which is going to be my first price target there. And just in general, everything continues to have a pretty positive rally. Even the Vanguard growth ETF is looking pretty strong here. And, like I said, tomorrow we are going to get ourselves our weekly employment data, which will provide more clues regarding some investor sentiment going into the Jackson hole. And, if we do get some weak sales, maybe that will garner some new recession fears, and that could take the front seat. So we definitely want to pay attention to that by all means. But at this current time frame, the market still looks to be in a confirmed uptrend, and yeah, everything's looking pretty good here. Just going to keep an eye on semiconductors, and we'll see what the next few days bring. So, keep your head on a swivel there. But yeah, there's a few names that I'm liking so far. As far as, I posted some shares that I'm swinging. FTIA looks really good right now, so I'm pretty happy about this one so far. CRUS, like I said, this had a nice uptick in volume today as it attempted to break into all-time highs around the 143 mark. Like I said, Cirrus Logic is one of its main sales is from Apple, so definitely going to be continuing to monitor that. And then again, we got Monday, which has been a little bit laggy, but continues to be a nice bullish stock in general. So all in all, looking pretty good on most things. So overall, pretty good stuff, and we'll see what these next few days bring us. So let's keep at it, keep up the good work, and I will see you guys bright and early tomorrow. Thanks, guys. Bye.